The fluorescent light flickered above him just as the bucket slipped, sending a ripple of dirty water across the polished marble floor. For a split second, everything froze, the silence of the towering office building, the echo of the spill, and the heavy breath caught in his chest. Then he dropped to his knees, scrubbing frantically, not because the mess mattered, but because losing this job meant losing everything. If you believe in kindness and second chances, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Heart Touch Stories. Your support helps stories like this reach people who truly need them. Ayaan Khalid had never imagined his life would shrink to this: night shifts, empty hallways, and a constant fear of tomorrow. Just 2 years ago, his days had been filled with sunlight, laughter, and the small but precious routines of family life. But everything changed the night his wife passed away unexpectedly, leaving him alone with a 5-year-old daughter and a world that no longer made sense. Grief had not come like a storm. It had come like silence. It lingered in the corners of his apartment, in the untouched cup of tea on the table, in the small shoes by the door that his daughter Zara still wore, not fully understanding why her mother never came back. And while Zara learned to smile again, slowly and gently, Ayaan carried the weight of both their worlds on his shoulders. He had lost his daytime job months after her passing. The company downsized, and Ayaan, distracted and broken, was among the first to go. Bills piled up, savings disappeared, and desperation pushed him into taking the only job he could find quickly, a night cleaning position at one of the largest corporate headquarters in the city. Every evening, as the city dimmed and the world slowed down, Ayaan would tuck Zara into bed at their neighbor's apartment. Mrs. Ruxana, a kind elderly woman who had known his wife, would sit beside Zara, telling her bedtime stories while Ayaan slipped out quietly into the night. Each step away from his daughter felt heavier than the last, but he had no choice. The building where he worked was massive. Glass walls that reflected the skyline, floors so clean they looked untouched, and offices that belonged to people whose lives felt worlds apart from his own. He wore a uniform that was always slightly too big, pushed a cart filled with supplies, and moved like a shadow through hallways that never remembered him. But Ayaan was not just a cleaner. He had once been a technician, skilled in systems and problem-solving. Life had simply pulled him away from that path. And even now, as he wiped desks and emptied bins, his mind still noticed things, patterns, inefficiencies, small problems that others overlooked. It started with something simple. A printer on the 14th floor had been jamming for weeks. Employees had left sticky notes complaining about it, and IT had apparently marked it for replacement. One night, while cleaning, Ayaan paused. He opened the panel, studied the mechanism, and after 20 minutes of careful adjustment using nothing but a paperclip and instinct, the machine hummed back to life. He didn't tell anyone. He simply closed it and moved on. Then it was a flickering security panel on the 9th floor. Then a glitch in the automated lighting system that left entire sections in darkness. Each night, quietly and without recognition, Ayaan fixed what he could. It wasn't part of his job. But something inside him needed to feel useful again. Still, his real battle was not in those hallways, it was at home. Zara had begun asking more questions. Why couldn't he stay at night? Why did he always look tired? Why didn't they have breakfast together anymore? Each question pierced deeper than the last. One morning, after finishing his shift, Ayaan returned home to find Zara sitting by the window, clutching a drawing. It was a picture of their small family, 3 figures holding hands. But the third figure, her mother, was drawn faintly, almost like a ghost. That day, something broke inside him. He realized he wasn't just fighting for survival anymore. He was fighting to give his daughter a life that still felt whole. Days turned into weeks, and the quiet changes he made in the building began to ripple outward. Systems ran smoother. Complaints dropped. But no one knew why until one night. It was later than usual. The building was nearly empty, except for a few lights still burning on the executive floor. Ayaan had just finished cleaning the lower levels when he noticed something unusual, a server room door slightly ajar, with a faint, irregular hum coming from inside. Curiosity pulled him closer. Inside, a critical system was glitching. Screens flickered, warning lights blinked, and the temperature was rising dangerously. It didn't take long for Ayaan to realize what was happening, a cooling system failure that could shut down the entire network if not fixed immediately. He hesitated. This was not his responsibility. One wrong move, and he could be blamed for everything. But then he thought of Zara, and he stepped forward, working with precision and urgency. He traced the problem to a faulty valve. Using nothing but basic tools and his knowledge, he manually adjusted the system, stabilizing the temperature just in time. The blinking light steadied. The hum returned to normal. Ayaan exhaled slowly, wiping sweat from his forehead. That's when he heard the footsteps. A tall man stood at the doorway, his expression unreadable, his presence commanding. It was the CEO of the company, Faris Rahman, a man known for his sharp mind and even sharper expectations. He had come in late to review a major project, only to find a janitor standing inside one of the most restricted areas of the building. For a moment, neither spoke. Ayaan's heart pounded. This could be the end, but instead of anger, there was curiosity in Faris's eyes. What followed was not a confrontation, but a quiet observation. Faris asked a few questions, not accusing, but probing. Ayaan answered honestly, explaining what he had seen and what he had done. The silence that followed felt endless. Then Faris nodded, not a word of praise. Not a word of criticism. Just a nod, and he walked away. The next few days were filled with uncertainty. Ayaan went to work expecting to be called in, perhaps even fired. But nothing happened until one morning, when he was asked to report to the main office. His hands trembled as he entered the room. Zara's drawing was still folded in his pocket, as if it gave him strength. Faris Rahman sat across from him, reviewing a file. Then he looked up. What he said next would change everything. Before we continue, if this story is touching your heart even a little, don't forget to engage with the video. Your like, your comment, your share can help someone else find hope in a difficult moment. Faris spoke calmly, almost thoughtfully. He revealed that the company had been struggling with internal inefficiencies for months. Teams had failed to identify problems that Ayaan had quietly solved in the background. The incident in the server room had been the final proof, but what mattered more was not just what Ayaan had done, but why he had done it. There was no contract, no obligation, no reward, just responsibility, just care. Faris offered him a position, not as a cleaner, but as a junior systems technician. It wasn't a grand title, and it didn't come with luxury. But it came with something far more valuable: dignity, stability, and a chance to rebuild. Ayaan couldn't speak. He simply nodded, the same way Faris had that night. Life didn't transform overnight. There were still struggles, still long days, still moments of doubt. But slowly, things began to shift. Zara started smiling more. Mornings became shared again. Breakfast returned to their routine, and one day, Zara brought home another drawing. This time, all three figures were bold and clear. No one was fading anymore. Just before we reach the end, take a moment to comment and share your thoughts, because your voice matters, and stories like this live through the people who feel them. In the end, Ayaan realized something profound. Sometimes, the world doesn't notice your efforts right away. Sometimes, your work goes unseen, your struggles unheard, but that doesn't mean they don't matter, because somewhere, in a quiet moment, someone is watching, and sometimes, that one moment is all it takes to change everything. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that even in the darkest nights, hope can still be found, and that second chances are often closer than we think.